Close your eyes now, and let yourself sink slowly into the present moment. Feel your body resting, supported, safe. There is nothing you need to do. No tasks, no worries, nothing pulling you away. Just this gentle moment, and the soothing comfort of being here. Breathe in very slowly, and breathe out even slower. Let your shoulders fall. Let your hands rest. Allow the air to move gently in and out of you, like a tide rolling against the sand. As you settle into this softness, imagine the sound of a faint, steady hum, low, warm, and soothing. Imagine that hum echoing through an old stone village, carried on the breeze like the memory of a lullaby. The air is cool, the sky turning silver with evening, and a faint scent of wood smoke curls lazily upward from cottage chimneys. And now, our story begins. Our story today begins in a small medieval village nestled between rolling green hills. The year is long ago, so long that there are no clocks, no modern noise, only the rhythm of nature and the steady work of hands that know their craft. At the heart of this village lives a man, the Bellmaker. His workshop is simple but filled with mystery. Earthen pits dug into the ground hold molds of clay, waiting to be filled with glowing molten bronze. The walls are lined with wooden shelves stacked with tools, chisels, hammers, tongs, brushes made of horsehair. And always, faint soot clings to the air, mingling with the scent of metal and earth. The Bellmaker is not young, nor is he old. His hair is streaked with silver, his hands broad and strong, but his movements are slow and patient, almost like prayer. Each strike of his hammer is careful, deliberate. Each breath he takes seems to carry the memory of countless bells before this one. And as he works, he hums, a low, steady sound, almost like the drone of a bee's nest in summer. His hum is not a tune exactly, but a rhythm, the rhythm of metal softening, of fire breathing, of time itself stretching out into the quiet of night. Outside, the village is hushed. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves of the elm trees. Lanterns flicker along the narrow cobbled lanes, casting golden halos that sway when the wind brushes past. From an open window drifts the faint crackle of a hearth fire and the muted laughter of a family finishing supper. But the Bellmaker's workshop feels apart from all this, as though it belongs to a slower, deeper rhythm of the world. The pit glows faintly with the heat of molten bronze. The air shimmers, alive with warmth. The Bellmaker lifts his hammer and strikes once against the mold's rim. The sound is not yet a bell's chime, but a low, resonant note, almost like a heartbeat in the earth. Thump. He pauses, closes his eyes, listens, and hums again, letting his voice follow the fading sound, as though weaving himself into the very breath of the metal. The villagers believe that bells hold more than just sound. They believe that bells are guardians, that when they ring, they chase away storms, scatter lightning, and even frighten away wandering spirits. And so, when a bell is made, it is not just a piece of bronze. It is a voice, a protector, a companion to time itself. The Bellmaker knows this, though he does not speak of it. Instead, he hums as he works, letting his song wrap gently around the metal as it cools. Sparks drift upward like fireflies, flickering for a moment before vanishing into the air. The glow fades slowly, like the embers of a hearth when night grows late. Outside, the breeze carries the faint scent of rain. The leaves of the elm trees whisper to each other, soft and secretive. And somewhere in the distance, an owl gives a low, mournful call. The Bellmaker wipes his brow. His workshop is warm, but comforting. The glow of the coals paints his face in soft red light. And the hum continues, gentle, steady, a thread that ties him to his craft. Now imagine yourself standing just at the edge of his workshop. You can feel the warmth radiating from the fire pit. You can smell the faint mixture of earth, bronze, and wood smoke. And you can hear the slow, soothing hum, like a lullaby meant not for children, but for the world itself. Every so often, he lifts his hammer, striking gently. The sound vibrates through the air, carrying with it a calm resonance that seems to sink into your very bones. Thump. And each time, the Bellmaker leans closer, listening, humming in return, until the two sounds, his voice and the metal, become one. Time feels slower here. The day does not rush forward. The night does not hurry in. Instead, there is only the steady flow of warmth, sound, and silence. The bellmaker knows that bells take time. They cannot be rushed. The bronze must be poured, cooled, shaped, smoothed. Each step is part of a ritual older than memory itself. And so he hums, patient and steady, like a river moving over stones. As the hours pass, the village grows quieter. The last of the candles in cottage windows are snuffed out. The streets fall into silence. Only the distant trickle of the brook can be heard, and the faint sigh of the wind as it moves over rooftops. Inside the workshop, the glow of fire remains. The bellmaker sets aside his hammer and sits upon a wooden stool, gazing at the mold resting in the earthen pit. His hum softens now, drifting into something almost like a whisper. The bronze is cooling, hardening, taking shape. And in the stillness, he imagines the sound it will one day make. The deep, resonant chime that will echo across hills and fields. The voice that will rise with the morning sun, calling the village to life. And for a moment you too can hear it. Not with your ears, but with your imagination. A sound that is round and full, smooth as velvet, deep as a heartbeat. Dawning, the first chime is only in your mind. But it is enough. Enough to let you feel the power of a bell not yet born. Enough to let you drift a little deeper into stillness. The night stretches on. The stars shimmer above the thatched rooftops, each one a tiny bell of light in the sky. The moon drifts slowly, pale and watchful. And the bellmaker, still humming, drifts too, between wakefulness and the edge of sleep. The embers crackle softly. A log shifts with a faint sigh. The bellmaker's hum blends with the night air, until it feels as though the whole world is humming with him. And so the first night of our story closes, with the bell still cooling in its mold, the village resting in silence, and the hum of the bellmaker carrying gently into the dreams of all who sleep nearby. Rest again now. Settle your body into stillness. Feel the softness beneath you, the comfort holding you. Let the day slip away, like a cloak falling from your shoulders. Breathe deeply, slowly, peacefully. You are safe. You are calm. You are here. And as you drift once more into the world of our story, imagine the faint glow of a workshop fire. Imagine the warmth, the quiet rhythm of the bellmaker's hum. Imagine sparks, tiny and golden, rising in the air like fireflies. Our story continues. The bell has rested through the night, held in its mold, embraced by earth and silence. The bronze, once molten and restless, has stilled. It has cooled into its form, heavy and quiet, waiting. The bellmaker wakes before dawn. He steps softly into his workshop, his boots crunching faintly against the packed earthen floor. Outside, the sky is pale gray, and mist drapes itself across the fields, flowing like silver fabric over the land. Inside, the embers still glow faintly in the hearth. The bellmaker stirs them gently, coaxing a small flame to life. The air warms again, but gently, like breath on a window. And he hums, not loudly, but softly. The same hum he carried through the night before, as though reminding the bell that it is not alone. He kneels beside the pit. With practiced patience, he brushes away the layers of clay that surround the cooling mold. The work is slow, each motion deliberate. The clay crumbles and falls away, revealing glimpses of the bronze beneath. Dull at first, not yet shining, but strong. The villagers will gather soon. They know the bell is being born. They will want to see it, to bless it, to whisper their hopes into it before it is lifted to its home in the tower. For now, though, it is just the bellmaker, the bell, and the silence. The workshop smells of clay dust and cooled metal. The hum of the bellmaker is steady, almost like a heartbeat beside your ear. Each sound is drawn out, gentle, patient. It makes the morning feel slower, softer, as though time itself is resting. Soon, the first rays of dawn slip through the small window. They fall across the bronze, making it gleam faintly. The bell, though still rough, seems to catch the light in a secret way, as if the sun has always known it would shine upon this very surface. The Bellmaker pauses. He places a hand gently against the bronze, feeling its coolness. He closes his eyes, hums again, and for a moment, it is almost as though the bell hums back. A faint resonance, low and hidden, lives inside it now, waiting for breath, waiting for air, waiting to sing. By mid-morning, footsteps begin to sound outside the workshop. The villagers arrive one by one, men and women, old and young, drawn by curiosity, by reverence, by the old belief that a bell is more than just metal. They gather quietly. Their voices are hushed, as though entering a chapel. They peer into the workshop, watching the Bellmaker at his work. A child, the baker's son, tugs at his mother's sleeve and whispers, "Will it keep away storms?" The mother smiles faintly, smoothing his hair. "Yes, little one. When it rings, the thunder will flee." The Bellmaker hears, but does not answer. His hum is answer enough. He works until the bell is free of its mold. With help from strong hands in the village, ropes are tied, pulleys lifted, and slowly, so very slowly, the bell is drawn from the earth. It rises heavy and sure, bronze catching the sunlight now in fuller gleams. The villagers murmur softly, awed by its size, by its weight, by its presence. When it is set gently upon wooden beams, the people gather close. One by one, they lay their hands upon the bell's side. Some whisper blessings. Some close their eyes in silent prayer. Some simply listen, pressing their ear against the cool bronze, as though trying to hear the song that has not yet been sung. The Bellmaker stands a little apart, still humming, watching as each villager offers something of themselves to the bell. He knows that every handprint, every whispered word, every silent thought will live inside the bronze. When the bell rings, it will carry them all into the sky. The day drifts on slowly. A breeze rustles through the elm trees. The river murmurs beyond the fields. And in the center of the village, the bell waits, gleaming softly. The children play near it, chasing each other around the wooden beams. The older folk sit nearby, remembering other bells long ago in other towers. Bells that rang for weddings, for feasts, for warnings, for funerals. Bells that marked the rhythm of life. This new bell is heavy with silence, but within that silence lies promise. As evening draws near, a small ceremony begins. The priest steps forward, carrying a bowl of water gathered from the village well. He sprinkles it gently over the bell, each drop sliding across the bronze, catching the glow of sunset like tiny stars. He speaks words of blessing, his voice low and solemn. The villagers bow their heads. The Bellmaker hums softly still, letting his tone weave beneath the words, as though stitching them into the metal. When the blessing is done, a hush falls. The villagers wait. The Bellmaker steps forward, lifting a small wooden mallet. He closes his eyes, touches the bell once more with his hand, and then very gently he strikes. Dang! The sound rises, deep and full. It rolls across the square, across the rooftops, across the fields. The air vibrates with it. The leaves in the trees quiver. The villagers feel it in their chests, in their bones. It is the first voice of the bell, and it is beautiful. The sound fades slowly, melting into the evening air. The villagers remain still, eyes closed, letting it sink into them. Some sigh softly, some smile faintly. A child leans against his mother, already half asleep. The Bellmaker lowers the mallet. He hums again, softer now, letting his voice blend with the last threads of the bell's note. The two sounds weave together like strands of silk until they dissolve into silence. The ceremony is finished, but the memory of that first chime lingers in every heart. Night comes gently. The villagers return to their homes, lanterns glowing like fireflies along the narrow streets. The children are tucked into beds, their dreams already carrying the sound of the bell. Fires crackle softly behind closed shutters. The scent of supper lingers in the air, and the bell rests in the square, gleaming under the silver gaze of the moon. The Bellmaker stays behind. He sits upon the wooden beam beside the bell, humming quietly. The sound is almost like a lullaby meant not for people, but for the bell itself. He hums of storms chased away. He hums of mornings yet to come. He hums of the tower that will soon cradle this voice, lifting it high into the sky. The bell does not answer, not yet, but in the stillness it feels alive. And so the second night of our story drifts into peace. The stars shimmer, the river whispers, and in the heart of the village, the bellmaker hums, until all the world seems to hum with him. Settle once more. Feel your body resting, calm and safe. Take in a slow, deep breath, and let it out even slower. The world outside can fade now. It does not matter. Only the story remains, gentle, soft, steady as a heartbeat. And in that stillness, our story continues. The morning after the bell's first chime arrives quietly. Mist curls low along the fields, wrapping the village in a soft, silver veil. Dew gathers on every blade of grass, sparkling like tiny beads of glass. The roosters call, faint and far, and somewhere a dog barks lazily before falling silent again. The bell rests in the square, still and solemn, as though it too has slept through the night. Its bronze surface holds the memory of moonlight, now turning golden beneath the rising sun. Around it the village stirs. Doors creak open. Water buckets clatter at the well. The baker begins to knead his morning bread. And always the bellmaker hums. He has been awake since before dawn, polishing the bell with careful strokes of cloth and ash. His hum is patient, unbroken, like the steady rhythm of a tide. Each circle of his cloth brings a brighter sheen. Each breath of his voice a gentler bond between him and the bell. The villagers gather once more. Today is a day of labor, for the bell must be lifted. It must rise above the village, into the waiting tower of stone, where its voice can travel freely across hills and valleys. The tower stands at the village's edge, tall and gray, built by many hands over many years. The stones are rough but steady. Its windows are narrow slits, its roof crowned with wooden beams. At the top waits the belfry, an empty space, hungry for the bell's voice. The villagers look upon the task with both awe and unease. The bell is heavy. Its bronze body could crush a man if ropes fail. But there is determination in their eyes. They will work together. They will lift it, slowly, carefully, with patience and faith. The ropes are prepared. Thick, woven cords are looped around the bell's crown, tied with knots strong as sailors work. Wooden beams are set into the ground, creating a frame for pulleys. The men test them, pulling, releasing, nodding to one another. The women bring water, cloths, bread to sustain them through the day. The children, though eager to watch, are guided back to the shade of the elm trees, where they can sit safely and see from afar. The bellmaker oversees it all in silence. He moves with slow certainty, checking knots, touching ropes, humming always. The villagers notice his calm, and it steadies them. They begin to hum too, low at first, scattered, then together, until a quiet chorus rises in the square. The bell seems to listen. At last, the lifting begins. Hands grip ropes. Voices murmur prayers. The bell groans faintly as it rises from its wooden cradle. The pulleys creak. The ropes stretch, humming like strings of a great instrument. The bellmaker hums louder, guiding the rhythm of the work. The bell rises a hand's breadth from the ground. Slowly, slowly, dust stirs beneath it. Sunlight gleams against its bronze flank. The villagers pull, step by step, their breath and movement joined as one. Upward it climbs, swaying gently in the morning air. Each motion is slow, careful, deliberate. The pulleys groan, ropes strain, but the bell holds, steady in its journey skyward. Children gasp beneath the elm trees. Women press hands to their chests. The old men nod, their eyes shining with memory, recalling other times, other bells. The bellmaker's hum never falters. It threads through the air, soft yet strong, as though carrying the bell upward on invisible arms of sound. The climb is long. Hour by hour, the bell rises along the tower's side. The sun climbs too, warming stone and skin alike. Sweat beads on brows. Hands ache with strain. But no one complains. For the bell is not just metal. It is the voice of their village, their protector, their companion through time. By midday, the bell hangs halfway to the belfry. The villagers rest in shifts. Some eat bread and cheese in the shade. Others drink from the well, wiping their foreheads, smiling faintly despite their exhaustion. The children nap in the grass, lulled by the hum of the bellmaker, who never ceases his song. He walks slowly around the base of the tower, his eyes lifted always to the bell, his voice weaving through the ropes, through the stone, as if reminding the bell it is safe, it is carried, it is loved. In the afternoon, clouds drift in from the horizon. Their edges are gray, heavy with rain. A breeze stirs, cooler now, rustling leaves with a whisper like 1,000 soft voices. The villagers glance upward, worry flickering in their eyes. Storms are feared here. Lightning can strike towers, winds can tear at ropes. But the bellmaker only hums deeper, stronger, his voice resonant, like the earth itself singing. The villagers take courage from his calm. They return to the ropes, pulling once more, steady, careful, their strength renewed. And as though the sky itself is listening, the storm holds back. The clouds drift, but the rain does not fall. By evening, the bell nears the belfry. Its bronze body gleams in the golden light of sunset, painted in hues of fire and honey. The villagers cheer softly, their voices tired but full of pride. Children clap their hands. The old priest lifts his staff in blessing. The final pull begins. With grunts of effort, the villagers draw the bell into the tower's embrace. The ropes creak, the pulleys strain, but the bell passes through the arched opening, disappearing into the shadows of the belfry. Inside, men guide it with poles and ropes, easing it gently onto its wooden frame. The sound of wood against bronze echoes softly, like the heartbeat of the tower itself. And then, silence. The bell has found its home. The villagers gather at the base of the tower, staring upward. They know it is there, though they cannot see it. A hush falls, deeper than any before. Even the wind seems to pause, waiting. The bellmaker steps forward. Slowly, carefully, he climbs the stone steps that spiral upward within the tower. His hand glides along the cool wall. His hum echoes softly against the stone, curling upward, following him. At last, he reaches the belfry. The bell waits, immense and solemn in the dim light. He approaches it, lays his hand upon its side, and hums once more. The sound vibrates faintly, the bronze answering with a breath of resonance, as though recognizing him. The bellmaker smiles, though no one can see. He takes up the small wooden mallet he has carried with him, and with infinite gentleness he strikes. Donning, the sound pours out of the tower, rolling across the village, across the fields, across the hills. Deeper, fuller now, higher than before, soaring like a bird released. The villagers gasp. Some laugh softly. Some wipe tears from their eyes. The children stare wide-eyed, their mouths open in wonder. The bell has spoken. The sound fades, leaving behind a silence rich with awe. The villagers stand still, listening to the echo within their own hearts. The priest bows his head. The women whisper blessings. The men nod solemnly. And high in the belfry, the bellmaker hums. His voice threads into the last strands of the bell's chime, weaving with it until both dissolve into night. That evening, as stars gather above, the village is different. Doors stand open a little longer. Lanterns glow brighter. Laughter drifts more easily from windows. For now they have a voice in the sky, a guardian, a companion, a song that will outlive them all. The bell rests in the belfry, quiet, solemn, strong. But within it waits music, waiting for dawn, waiting for need, waiting for joy. And somewhere beneath it, the bellmaker hums, his voice joining with the whispers of the night. And so another chapter closes. The stars shine, the tower breathes, and the gentle hum continues, carrying you deeper, softer, into rest. Take a deep breath now, in through your nose, and out, slow, easy, gentle. Feel your body softening. Feel the day falling away. There is only this quiet moment, and the sound of a story meant to soothe. Our story continues, high above the village, where the bell waits in its tower. The first morning after the bell has been lifted dawns clear and gold. Sunlight spreads across the fields, touching thatched rooftops, rippling through the brook that runs along the edge of the village. Birds stir in the hedges. The smell of fresh bread drifts from the baker's oven. And then, the bell rings. It is not a loud, jarring sound. It is deep, full, and warm, rolling like a wave across the land. It pours from the tower in long, steady notes. Dawning, dawning, dawning. The sound wakes the village gently. Children stretch beneath their blankets, smiling sleepily. Farmers rise, pulling on boots with slow determination. The women at the well pause, letting the sound wash over them before lifting their buckets. The bell's voice seems to reach into every corner, into houses, into hearts, into the very soil. Says, the day has begun. Rise and let life flow again. From that morning on, the bell becomes the heartbeat of the village. It rings at dawn, calling people to their work. It rings at midday, a soft reminder for rest, for bread and water, for conversation beneath the shade. It rings at dusk, when the day closes, guiding people back into their homes, their hearths, their families. And sometimes it rings at night, not often, only when needed. When wolves are sighted in the fields, the bell warns. When fires break out, its chime calls for buckets, for unity, for speed. And when storms gather, when lightning flashes and thunder growls, the bell sings louder, fuller, as though its voice alone can chase the storm away. The villagers believe it does. They say the clouds scatter when the bell cries out. They say lightning bends its path, refusing to strike the tower. They say the bell is a guardian, and so they listen with faith. The bellmaker, too, listens. Every morning he rises before the bell rings. He walks the stone steps of the tower, humming softly, touching the ropes, the wooden beams, the bell's bronze side. When the rope is pulled and the clapper strikes, he closes his eyes, feeling the sound travel through his chest, through his bones. It is not his bell alone anymore. It belongs to the village. Yet still he hums to it, as if it is a child he has raised, now grown, but never beyond his love. Sometimes, in the stillness of night, he climbs the tower when all others sleep. He sits beside the bell, humming low and slow, letting his voice vibrate against the bronze. No one hears, but he knows the bell does. The seasons turn. Summer brings long days, heavy with warmth. The bell rings over fields of wheat and barley, over children playing in the brook, over the slow hum of bees in the meadows. Its sound rolls far, carrying across golden hills like a song woven into the sky. Autumn follows. The air cools, crisp and clean. Leaves turn copper and scarlet, falling in drifts that whisper against cobblestones. The bell rings over harvest fields, calling workers to feast, to cider, to laughter that echoes long into the night. Winter arrives with silence. Snow falls thick and soft, muffling footsteps, crowning rooftops in white. The bell rings then too, slow and solemn, its sound carrying over the stillness like warmth against the cold. Children laugh, pulling sleds. Families huddle near fires, listening to its deep notes as though they are blankets made of sound. And then spring returns. Buds appear on branches. Streams swell with melted snow. Lambs stumble in the fields, bleating faintly. The bell sings in celebration, its voice lifted high into the fresh wind, as though calling the earth itself to wake. Through it all, the hum of the bellmaker remains. Never loud, never urgent, but steady. He hums as he works, as he walks, as he rests. Some say they hear his hum woven into the bell's very tone. Some say when the bell rings, it is the bellmaker's voice inside it, singing still. The villagers grow to trust the bell more deeply with each passing season. They measure their lives by its voice. A wedding begins with the bell's joyful peal. its notes ringing fast and bright. A funeral is guided by its slow toll, each chime like a tear falling gently. Children born are blessed with its sound, their first cries mingling with the bell's low song. And those who grow old, who close their eyes one final time, are carried out of the village with the bell's voice walking beside them. The bell does not only measure time, it holds it. Every moment, every joy, every sorrow, all carried in its resonance, as though the bronze remembers what the people cannot. One evening, clouds gather thick and dark. The wind rises sharp, bending the elm trees until their branches groan. Thunder growls low on the horizon. Lightning flashes, jagged and white, splitting the sky. The villagers look upward, fear stirring. Storms are dangerous. Storms can bring fire and ruin. The bellmaker climbs the tower, step by step, humming all the way. His voice is calm, even as the wind tugs at his cloak. He reaches the belfry, places both hands on the rope, and waits. The storm draws closer. Rain begins to fall, heavy, drumming against stone and roof. Lightning strikes again, nearer now, and then the bellmaker pulls. The bell swings. The clapper strikes. Dun. The sound pours into the storm, deep and strong. Again he pulls. Dun. The bell cries out against the thunder. It rolls across the land, louder, fuller, as though the storm itself cannot match it. The villagers stand in their doorways, watching with wide eyes. Children cling to their mothers. Men grip their lanterns. And still the bell rings. Dang nang. Some say the clouds break. Some say the lightning turns aside. Some say the rain lessens, driven away by sound. Whatever the truth, by midnight, the storm has passed. The sky clears. Stars shine once more. The villagers whisper thanks. They believe the bell has saved them. And high in the tower, the bellmaker hums to the bell, stroking its side as one might soothe a weary horse. His hum is soft, loving, steady, as though telling the bell it has done well. It has kept them safe. It may rest again. The years pass. Children grow into adults, remembering how the bell sang them to sleep when they were small. Young men become fathers, telling their sons of storms chased away, of weddings celebrated. Women who once drew water from the well grow old, listening from their doorways as the bell continues its song. The bell does not age. Its bronze gleams still, though softened by the hands of seasons. Its voice is as strong as the day it was born. And always, the hum of the bellmaker continues. In the quiet hours of night, when the village sleeps, when even the owls rest in silence, the bellmaker sometimes wonders if the bell hums back. He thinks he hears it in the faint vibration of the stone, in the soft sigh of the ropes, in the breath of air that moves through the belfry. Perhaps it is his imagination. Perhaps it is true. Either way, he smiles. He hums again, and the night hums with him. And so another chapter of our story closes. The bell has become more than a voice. It has become a heartbeat for the village, a heartbeat for time itself. And in its song we drift into calm, into softness, into sleep. The night was deep now, as though the very sky had wrapped the village in layers of velvet. The new bell rested high in the tower, its bronze form silent for the moment, glinting faintly in the light of the waxing moon. Below, the hearth fires had dimmed to embers, and the streets of the little medieval village lay still. Yet within that stillness was no emptiness, only a serene kind of fullness, like the earth itself breathing slowly, evenly, inviting those who lived upon it to rest. The bellmaker, weary from his long days and nights of work, sat in his workshop once more. The tools were neatly placed aside, his apron folded, his hammer resting upon a shelf as though it too had earned its slumber. He leaned back in his chair, closed his eyes, and allowed the soft hum that always lived within him to drift outward again. Not to shape bronze, not to steady his hand, but simply to soothe his spirit. That hum joined the chorus of the quiet night. The rustle of leaves, the faint sigh of wind through shutters, the hushed creak of beams settling into their nightly silence. In the tower, the bell seemed almost to listen. Its bronze heart remembered every strike, every spark, every moment of shaping in the earthen pit. It held within itself not only metal but memory, the memory of patience, of care, of rhythm, of a craftsman who believed that each sound carried meaning beyond itself. And so, as the stars brightened and the villagers lay in their beds, the bell gave its first soft chime, not loud, not commanding, but tender. A single note rolled out like a lullaby, mingling with the quiet air, soothing even those who did not hear it with their ears, but only felt it within their dreams. And so it was that the hum of the bellmaker and the voice of the bell became one. They moved gently through the village, weaving through rafters, settling into the hay of the barns, brushing softly over the waters of the stream. Children stirred and smiled in their sleep, dreamers drifted more deeply, and even the animals nestled in their stables seemed to relax. The bell was no longer just bronze, no longer just weight and form. It was a breath, a heartbeat, a calming presence reminding the village that storms could be driven away, that nights could be held in peace, that time itself could be softened. And if you listen closely, even now, you might hear it too. Not with your ears, but in the gentle slowing of your breath, in the weight of your body sinking into comfort, in the way your thoughts soften and loosen like leaves carried upon a stream. The bellmaker's hum is still there, steady and kind, whispering across centuries, whispering into this very moment, reminding you that it is safe to rest. So let go now. Let the rhythm of the story, like the rhythm of hammer and hum, carry you deeper. Feel the soft breeze, the glowing embers, the rustling leaves. Feel the bell's bronze note shimmering gently through the night sky, cradling you in its sound. And with each breath, sink further into calm. Each moment is slower, softer, quieter. The bellmaker has finished his work, and so have you. The village sleeps, and so shall you. The bell hums, and in its hum you are at peace. And as the last of this tale drifts like smoke into the stars, know that the bell will always be there, its song woven into the stillness, calling you gently toward the deepest rest. Sleep now, rest deeply, dream sweetly,